Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And you might have remembered from another previous review that I was talking about how it had gotten a little hot in New York, a little humid in Queens. Well, it's about to get a lot hotter because here we have from Wave 2 of Age of the Primes, this is Voyager class Heatwave from Rescue Bots. As you can see, Heatwave is a repaint, retool of Legacy Wave 1 Voyager class Bulkhead from the Prime universe. Now, a lot of people might have had some issues with that figure. I thought it was okay. I do find it funny that over all the years, people were saying, well, this is a pre-tool for Beast Hunters Optimus Prime. It's going to be retooled for the movie line as, that Optimus Prime, because we had that, like, the early designs and some of the basic figures look like it. I remember there was one speculation that it was going to be repainted as the G.I. Joe APC carrier vehicle. Um, it wasn't going to be a crossover, but that was going to be the deco. And funny enough, the mold's been used like 4 times, twice for Bulkhead, once as Prime Universe Breakdown, which unfortunately had a lot of issues apparently, and now here is Heatwave. So it kind of makes me wonder, was Heatwave the intended endpoint all along? Just because as I feel that Heatwave wears this mold a lot better. Now, in terms of what's new, obviously the head is new. You have some very nice light piping there, but you also have a whole new torso here, new forearms, and believe it or not, the accessories, the axe, the hose, the ladder, but from the waist down, it's all the same parts from Bulkhead that's just been painted differently. Um, so yeah, it's actually very nice. All the articulation that was originally with Bulkhead is still here. If you like the mold, you'll like this. If you didn't like the mold, well, I hate to say you're probably not going to like this. So let's just go ahead and get into a couple quick features here in robot mode as I straighten the figure out. First of all, um, actually, I want to say that the head is very expressive, a little more expressive than I remember Bulkhead being. And unfortunately, because it's been a while since Legacy, I don't have that Bulkhead figure really handy. It's one of those deals where to dig it out just for like 2 seconds of comparison, where you can look a photo up and, there it is. And you have other people who have their collections on hand uh, very easily can do like the 2 second comparison. Now I want to draw attention to this hose weapon. Um, there's a little peg here on it, and if you remember, Bulkhead on the hitch right here that would have held the canopy on for him, but the ladder here had some holes which are still here that you could be able to peg the weapon into for like a shoulder cannon. Unfortunately, the peg here, which is done in all clear plastic, is just a little too thick to fit in. So I really haven't been able to figure out where it can go. Obviously, there's the peg here if you want to, have it hand well. Oh, actually, that doesn't fit into the handhold. That's interesting. Um, and then on the axe here, there's a slot, like a square slot, and I have not been able to find place for that to use. Now, you can store the weapons on vehicle mode, robot mode, and in vehicle mode. There are some grooves here that there are tabs that will very nicely accept the tabs on the weapons, so you can store just like that. And I do believe because the ladder is removable, and you do need to remove it for vehicle mode, that you can peg it in the side there if you want a little bit of that shield action. And this part does fold up and down. I think it's mostly for storage, well, in packaging. Um, but yeah, so we're just going to put all this off to the side for the time being. And now we're going to come and take a look at the main figure and really just get into the transformation. Now, the first step of the transformation is, uh, well, removing the parts and what have you. Come in here and just open up the side panels and come up underneath and lift up the torso here. And you're going to undo the back section, but you're also going to want to just make flip up what will be the cab of the truck. Now, while you have it in this position, there's a couple things you need to do. First of all, is flip down the head and make sure it kind of snaps into place. And when going back to robot mode, it is very important that you do press up and make sure that friction's all the way up. The panel should sit level with the head there, and it's kind of tricky to. You want to really, yeah, get it up there so it'll sit level and get the arms in place there. And now I think it actually needs to come up a little more. So yeah, there we go. See how it sits right there? That's how you kind of want it. So but we're going into truck mode, so I just wanted to point that out. That will snap down into place there. And then, like on Bulkhead, there's a little panel that will flip up and close up that gap. The next thing to do is, if you remember the arm transformation, you want to rotate the arms down. There are these little sliding panels on the back, and you want to get it past the waist piece, and then they'll uh, sandwich together and tab into place quite nicely. So you have something that looks like this. Next, fold the arms up at the elbow. Continue to rotate them up till it looks like, uh, the elbows are folded up so that the underside here is level with those joints, and then come down and press down on the uh, cab, and everything will snap and friction into place so it's closed up like that. At this point, come around to the back here and just fold that panel down, just like that. I don't know if that panel's new or not. I don't remember it being on Bulkhead, but it's been a while, so it could be. Next, what you want to do is fold up this little waist abdomen piece, and then you want to separate the legs out just like that, and then straighten everything out so your figure looks like this. At this point, you can go ahead and fold this panel up like that. And now what you want to do is collapse the legs up just like, oh, you want to fold that what was the hip and waist up and over like that, bringing the legs down and then folding them up. Wait a minute, whoopsies, I just reattached that piece. Now you want to bring this whole section up like this. Don't peg it in yet, but collapse the legs in just like so. So they're folded up like this. Now, obviously, at the end point, everything's going to tab forward. But before you get to that, what you want to do is open up these side panels here. So the back panels on the legs of Heatwave, and then rotate out the gas can. And the gas can will help position the legs because that will tab into place there on the hip. And this is something that was carried over from Bulkhead and actually works kind of well here. You just go ahead and do that, do that. Uh, at this point, you can go ahead and peg the legs together. And what you'll do now is you're going to fold all this up. There's some tabs here that will go into slots on that backpack section. And then the gas cans will tab into the side. So you have something that looks like this. And this section, which held the ladder, there is a little tab and slot there. Now, to finish this off, you want to bring up the feet like this. And now we're going to bring the ladder in. And remember I had mentioned, and I guess you want to do this before you bring that panel down, the ladder has some slots here that are to go into the back, going to kind of tab on like that. But at the same time, you're going to bring them down, and the ladder will snap into grooves on the feet. And it's kind of interesting how you do this. It's like there's tabs there that'll like kind of sit into place, but because don't forget the feet tab into the heels, and then once you have that done, bring that down. And believe it or not, there you have uh, Heatwave in vehicle mode. And you might want to have to give it. You might want to have to. You might have to give it a little bit of the old transformer squeeze to make sure everything's lined up and situated properly. Now, of course, with these weapons, you can peg them. Uh, there's like a tab here on the side that you can bring them in like that, so they're not pegged into the ladder. If you want to clean up the ladder a little, so that's nice. I mean, this is all stuff that's carried over from Bulkhead, but here you do have that very nice truck mode. I do appreciate what's new here and how it does help differentiate from Bulkhead. But as you saw, the transformation is basically very similar, and everything moves into place the way you kind of need it to. Uh, the newest part, I think, being, excuse me, the ladder here and how it uses tabs on the hips and the thighs and then clips into the feet. That I think is kind of cool. Oop, knock that off. Um, but yeah, I think that's about it for the review. So how about we pause and we'll come back. Something I was thinking about when I first got Heatwave in hand is there's going to be a collector out there whose first exposure to Transformers was the original Rescue Bot toy of Heatwave. And it touched them so much that they really stayed with Transformers and they've grown along with it. And that this right here might be their first introduction to the Generations line or a full circle moment of sorts where now they have what many people would consider a full and proper Transformer of the character they grew up with. Kind of interesting because, with me growing up, there was no like basic line, there was no like preschool beginner line. Transformers were Transformers. 4 or 5 years old, you're getting Optimus Prime, you're getting Soundwave, and that's it. But now we have figures like Heatwave and there were many different versions of Heatwave in the Rescue Bots line that really you can have this generational effect where you can start, continue, and see where it evolves. Who knows? There might become a point in time where Heatwave is used in a future movie line or an animated show, or just in general, they start doing masterpieces of the Rescue Bots. I mean, that I'm just throwing out there as a little bit of a possibility, but um, if you're tired of the legacy bulkhead mold, then I don't think there's enough new here that you'll enjoy. I do want to say I appreciate that the joints were were tight. Nothing was floppy. I think it was even better than my copy of Bulkhead originally. So that I have to give a thumbs up to. But other than that, um, yeah, unless you like I said, a fan of the Rescue Bots, a fan of Heatwave, or you're just like obsessed with this mold and have to have every version, to which I say, bless you. Um, you might want to wait on it. Because here's the funny thing, in the case assortment, which will only be available at brick and mortar retail or maybe on the online retailer sites like Target and Walmart, um, it's three heat waves to one Skybite. So Heatwave is actually available from Amazon and Big Bad Toy Store. This is where I got mine. If I knew Amazon was going to get it, I would have waited the day or two. But Skybite hasn't come in yet, and I think Skybite's going to be the harder one to find. So I would say definitely jump on Skybite first. And also, as I mentioned, 3 to 1. I think there's a good possibility that Heatwave will sit around for a while and you might be able to pick the figure up on a sale or discount. So there's another thought like that. But that's about it for the review. If you like this review, Please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. While I will always appreciate the views, likes, comments, and subscriptions, help to communicate to YouTube through the algorithm that my channel should be exalted and held upon high. If you want to make the ultimate sign of support, I do have a Patreon. It's www.patreon.com/chuckdog1999. All I ask for is $1 a month, $12 a year. No thrills, no tears, no special rewards. All you're doing is helping me help you to help me help you bring figures like this to you, as well as keeping up the infrastructure of the channel. But as I always say, if you can't afford the $1 a month or $12 a year, your views are more than thanks enough. Patreon is just a cherry on top of an already generous Sunday. And I really do mean that. Patreon really, it's just a little something, something on the end. But you guys who've been with me for a while, I really do appreciate it. And yeah, that's about it. So once again, this is your old pal Chuck for Rescue Bot Heatwave. We will see you next time.